Hi everyone, today I want to show you how to make hazelnut fudge. So for the ingredients you need 30 grams of corn syrup, 40 grams of evaporated milk, 90 grams of brown sugar, 30 grams of chopped toasted hazelnuts, 25 grams of butter. I'm using salted butter. If you use unsalted butter, just add a pinch of salt and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So that's like about 2 grams or so. And I have a small loaf tin that's made of aluminum, and then a sauce pot, a spatula. I'm using a non-stick silicone spatula, and also a candy thermometer. So first you want to butter the sides of your loaf tin, and mine is just 12 by 6 by 3 centimeters. There's no non-stick coating, which is another reason for buttering. So I just have a piece of cling wrap and I have a small pat of butter in it, and I'm just rubbing it around the sides, especially the edges. And for the bottom, I have a piece of parchment paper that I'll just place in the bottom before I pour the fudge in. And so I'm wearing blue lab gloves, and it's for when the sugar gets hot, in case it splashes onto my hands or the heat gets too hot for my skin, but I don't know why I'm wearing it right now. Anyway, we're going to cook the sugar for the fudge now, so adding all the brown sugar into the sauce pot. And then the evaporated milk. And then also adding the corn syrup. Now I find that it's really convenient to use these paper cups because you don't have to use a spatula or an extra spoon to scrape the corn syrup out. You just give it a squeeze and then it's like getting toothpaste out or something. So I'm just cooking the sugar on medium high. It's 6 for my stove, 6 out of like 9 levels. And then not stirring it, although initially you can sort of move it around and stir it to help your brown sugar melt instead of having like a lump like mine. But it's still okay. Once it gets boiling, it'll start moving anyway. And it takes about 10 minutes. You want to bring it to a softball stage, which is about 112 to 116 Celsius. And as you can see, it takes a long time, so I have to entertain myself some way with Candy Crush. You can't stir it at this point yet or else it'll crystallize, so I'm just giving the pan swirls from time to time. And then also using my thermometer to test the temperature. It's almost there, it's 109-ish degrees, so just about a minute more and it should be there. It's there now, and I'm going to take it off the heat and over onto my counter so I can add the butter. And when I add the butter, I'm not going to stir it just yet. I'm just going to swirl the pan again because it's still really hot and bubbly, and we don't want the sugar to crystallize while it's in the pan. So just adding the butter and then swirling it to help it melt, and then again setting it aside to let it cool for about 10 to 15 minutes in this case. If you have a larger amount of sugar, because you can always multiply the recipe if you're cooking for a crowd, it'll take a lot longer to cook and cool. So I'm gonna go play some more Candy Crush now. My sugar has cooled at room temperature for about 10 minutes. I can sort of touch it now and it's still quite warm, but not burning hot. So I'm adding my vanilla and chopped hazelnuts. You can actually cool it for a bit longer, I think, until it gets to around 50 degrees Celsius, so just warmer than bath water. But anyway, I'm adding it now. And then just stirring. So I'm stirring quite vigorously and sort of scraping the sides and the bottom of the pot to help the sugar crystallize a bit and also to incorporate some air into it. So as you stir for about 10 minutes continuously and quite vigorously, and that helps incorporate some air into the sugar so that the texture, when you bite into it, it's a bit softer. After you finish doing the stirring, you'll notice that your sugar gets lighter and also thicker as it cools down. So before it completely sets, you want to pour it into the loaf tin that we buttered earlier, and then just let it sit at room temperature for about half an hour to 1 hour, and just let it set and cool. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. You could probably wait for an hour because my fudge was a little bit soft, but I got kind of impatient. So you run a knife along the edge, or you can run a toothpick along the edge if you want, but it should come away relatively easier than if we hadn't put the butter in. And then just flip it out onto a cutting board. Now for fudge and cooked sugar, you don't really want to refrigerate or freeze it because that abrupt temperature change, apparently I'm told that it does something to the sugar texture and then it's not good anymore. So keep it at room temperature and be a bit patient, I guess. Because my fudge was a bit soft, it sliced like butter. It was really easy to cut, and I'm just cutting it into small cubes. You can really do any shape you want, keeping in mind that this is quite sweet and quite rich, so you don't really want to, I don't know, have the whole bar and bite into it. Or you could if you want, I don't know. So it's sort of a soft and slightly crumbly in texture, and really delicious. So yes, I'll give you a close-up. It's really nice with the toast hazelnuts. You can also add other nuts if you want, and I have all the ingredients listed below. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, let me know below, and like and subscribe if you like videos like these. Thank you for watching. Bye.